What's up YouTube? Dubwy here, doing something different on the channel today. We're going to be doing a tutorial. Now I thought about doing another speed art and that, but I thought I really need to start doing tutorials. You know, I feel like I need to show people how to go on, because I get a lot of people inboxing me on Twitter, DMing me on Twitter saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I find myself just constantly typing back to people when I can just link them video and say, watch this video, you know, go watch the video and come back and you'll know how to do it, basically. So today we're going to be doing like a simplistic header, Twitter header, you know, style, just a simple style with a few little bits on it. It's basically if you use Photoshop a lot and you know how to make basic shapes and do text and stuff like that, then this video is not for you. I'm basically going to be going through all the stuff that you need to know to start making a header, and I'll also put the PSD in the description so you can download this and use it for yourself and edit it. I'm using Photoshop 2019 CC, I think. So yeah. So first of all, you're gonna have to open our canvas. So we go File, New. 3000 by 1000 is a HD Twitter header, or you can do it 1500 by 500. But we'll just stick to 3000 by 100 for now. I never use black. I hate using black on headers. I always use a dark grey. Resolution needs to be at 300 ppi. And yeah. So yeah, we have a blank canvas here. We have all this crazy shit going on. I'm just going to show you exactly what I'm using for this tutorial. There's no point in me going through each and every tool. Yeah, this makes rectangles. This makes rounded rectangles. You know what I mean? It's just going to be a long, boring video. So what we're going to be doing is basically just a simplistic style. Maybe some waves in the background, a nice bright yellow sort of radioactive warning, you know what they're called, hazard. I'll just show you. Yeah, so basically what we're going to start with is the text. So I'm going to use a font that everyone's going to have, so bear with me with this one. Well, that didn't work. A bit big. I'm just going to put your name for now. Use this font. It's Arial bold. Everyone should have it. It comes with standard with Windows. It's usually a nice little font to use. I'm going to make it a lot smaller because you don't need it that big on the to a header. Around 47. Looks about right. Now to get it to center, you can either click the central buttons up here, or you can just do Control T and then drag it till it snaps central like that. It'll snap on the little white boxes like that. So now that's centered, not central. We're gonna mess around with the actual type. Now we have this VA that makes the gaps between the letters bigger or smaller. I think that's about right. We have the auto, which doesn't really matter. That's when you got more than one line. So if you turn that up, then you'll have one line here, one line, next line right down here. But if it's a small number, then it'll be right below it. It's good for joining text together. You can join the letters that way and then join the letters that way as well, but we don't need that right now. And I know it looks kind of boring now, your name, but we'll get there. Yeah, so that's the first bit of text. What I like to do with text, not everyone likes it because sometimes it makes it look overcrowded, is you copy your layer, your name layer, with Control J, or right click and duplicate, but Control J copies it and it'll make a your name copy. Drag it underneath that. Now you can either double click or just right click and go up to blending options, as well as texture. Stroke puts a line around it, as you can see the background. Inner shadow puts a shadow on the inside. Inner glow makes it glow on the inside. Satin, that's really cool. I'm not actually sure how to explain it. It just sort of makes the light look like it's shining round. You can play with the settings and make it look chrome almost. Color overlay, which is what we're going to be using, so I'll leave that on. Gradient overlay, pattern overlay, outer glow, and drop shadow, which is a shadow behind the text. So with the color overlay now, we'll go to this yellow. We just want a darker version, maybe even a black, to be honest, or a light grey. We go to like a light grey. Control T it, zoom in a little bit. Now if we just drag this down, as you can see, it looks a bit strange right now, but bear with me. I'm gonna make it go down. Bear with me a second. Now I've done that, I can see that the grey's not gonna work. So you can go back to blending options, color overlay, play around with the settings until you find one that you like. That looks nice. Now with this, you want to right click on here, go to rasterize type, and again rasterize type on both them layers. And with your back layer, now you can see that the 3D is a bit messed up because of gaps. So what we want to do is select your polygonal lasso tool, click on the point to point, so we're filling in this gap here, make it like that, so you covered the point, control backspace, and it'll fill it in the right colour for you. Make sure you rasterize first, or it'll fill it in a strange colour, or it might just not work. I don't like the look of that white, to be honest, but even small bits like that, you can really get them to look nice with this way. Oh, now I've got around it all. It's Control D to deselect. Sorry. Once you've done your, this is my last one. Once you've done your selection up there, you do Control backspace. I forgot to say. Then Control D gets rid of it, so you can move on to your next one. Now we have some nice, cool looking 3D text. Not the most advanced, but it looks decent. You could leave it there if you wanted to put your name in there. But so what we're gonna do is add something else to sort of make the banner look a bit more like a banner and not just your name on a square. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just quickly copy that colour. So you want to click that, you get your dropper tool, click on your yellow. Okay. Now we're gonna make some squares now. So you want to click your rectangle tool, make a rectangle, go up here to your properties. It might be in a different place, but mine's here. It should be there by default, but and you want to go into here, click the yellow that you've selected previously. It should be in your recently used if you've selected it from here. Get rid of the stroke. You don't need a stroke. Now with this rectangle, we're going to select the move tool, move it to somewhere in here, and you're going to go Control T to transform, right click, skew. We're going to skew it on an angle like so. So we're going to bring it right down to there, so it's just off the screen. If we press yes on that, we have a little yellow triangle. That's obviously not what we want, so you want to hold Alt, just drag it up until you've got the gap that you want. It'll probably stop you around 426, maybe even a little bit bigger than that, I'd say. Call it 464, somewhere around there. Then you want to let go of Alt, let go click, hold Alt again, drag that one up. Now it should lock you around the same area. 467, there you go. Then you just drag it up again. You probably won't even get another one on there. No, so you can delete that one. Now, actually, no, sorry about that. Drag that one up again to 467. Okay, 464. Now we want to shift click that one all the way down to rectangle. Press Ctrl T, and now we can edit them all. Look. So what I want to do with this is actually make them a little bit smaller. So I've got 4 on the screen. There we go. Now we've got sort of, that's what the pattern I was trying to say, the radioactive pattern. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but yeah. So now this is still basic, but it does look pretty clean now. I'd use this. What you can do is, when you're merging files, I'd always recommend to select the layers you're gonna merge, duplicate them, right click, group layers, call it group 1 or whatever, delete the group, sorry, not delete the group, unview the group, go on all your rectangles again, then merge. Now if something goes wrong, you've still got the group with all the unmerged layers, but if not, if it goes the right way, then it's the right way, isn't it? Now what I'm going to do with this one is actually make it 3D the same as the text. I've not tried this. It's all about trying things with graphic design. If you think that it's going to look good, try it. And if it doesn't look good, scrap it. Go back to the original. Now I'm going to put a bit of a pulley around there. That looks alright. Doesn't look too bad. Now we need something else on the actual banner. We need some sort of like splash or something. Just some little particles really to make it look better. So what I'm going to do is add a few particles. We're going to add a sort of right angle here in yellow, and then we're going to do some white lines behind and stuff like that. So yeah, so for the right angle first, we want a thin right angle, probably around there. Then we want to fill it with white. Get rid of the stroke, we don't need the stroke. Yep, that's it. Back to move tool, hold Alt again, copy it, now Control T, hold Shift, drag it around so it locks. If you hold Shift, it locks between every 15 degrees. Get it to 90 degrees. Actually, I'm quite like, I was going to say quite like Minecraft then, but no, what you want to do is you want to definitely press tick and deselect the thing to make sure there's no line there. Okay, so now we want to select both of them. So you want to click Shift and then click the next one. Control T it, drag it close to the letters. We want it on the bottom. About there. We've got a line now, look. So what we want to do is get the copied one, drag it down and just cover up the line. Now what I want to do is copy both of them, Control T it, oh sorry, not, select both of them, hold Alt again, drag it over here somewhere, let go of Alt, now you've got 2. We'll get this one, now we'll go Control T, right click, flip horizontal, and we can add the one at this side as well. We could either do it this way, or we can Control T, flip it vertical as well. It's not going to look as good, but put one on the bottom side as well. Actually, yeah, that looks alright. Just little things like this make it, you know, pop a bit more. Now what I want to complete the rest of this is I want to copy this rectangle one, hold Alt again, drag it across to here. You need to remember which one it is. Rectangle 1, copy 6, drag it to the top, and I'm going to make this yellow. And I am going to put a, no I'm not, make this yellow. Control T, you have to zoom right in because you need to get the middle one. Oops. Hold shift and drag that point. Oops. Hold shift and drag that point so it doesn't affect any other what they call parameters, or you know, like the sizing of it. And maybe even put a gap in here about that big, 10 pixels. Probably drag it back as well. Now on the bottom side we're going to do the same, so as you've guessed it, Alt again, just drag that one straight to the bottom and it should pretty much be the right size. There you go. Now if you have socials, which I'm presuming you do if you're making a Twitter header, you can add your socials in a gap like this, or you can add fillers and other things like that, but I think with it being quite clean for now, I'm just going to add a few stuff, you know, a few little things to make it look a little bit more customized. So we're going to go from that point, drag another line out there, make it white, back to move tool, Control T, skew it. You have to zoom right in to get to this point. There we go. It's a bit of a pain when you're working with really small lines because sometimes they just don't play ball. Now as you can see, this has gone really big, but we can do that. We can sort that out. I'm gonna go back to free transform, make it smaller, but hold shift, drag it wider. It wants to be smaller again. Maybe even shift it smaller. This is just like sort of a technology based design. You want to Alt drag it again to sort of the same gap across, 3 maybe. What I'm going to do with those though is make them smaller again, sort of change the size a little bit. Yeah. Now we're going to add some more text now. You don't have to have this on yours, but that was just a decent touch to add something else to it really. So what we want to do is back down to here. We're going to add summer. Just drag this out of the way a second. We're going to add summer. Space. Now this is another cool thing you can do. If you put the PT down halfway through typing, you can do small and back to big again. Put another space there for the thing of it. Back down to here. Summer 2020. We want to go over to text again. If you only highlight a couple of letters, you can change the colour of just those letters, which is another cool thing. So if I do 6-letter words, I'll do 3 letters, just see what it looks like. Summer 2020. Being that, you can add even more. You can do sort of lines everywhere if you really want to. Really go do like what you think looks good. There's no point in someone giving you a banner because you're not learning anything. Like I'm putting this in the description solely for you. You can use it if you want. You use it as much as you want, but I'm putting this in the description for you to learn from, mainly. I don't want you to just go and copy it, so you're not actually learning anything. You know what I mean? I'm putting this there for you to sort of copy off and learn, but not just to use, you know what I mean? Now another cool thing we can do, I don't know what that was. No, delete. What I'm going to try and do, it might not work. Like I say, graphics is all about trying to work out what's going to be good and what isn't. So we want to click this. Now to select different layers, so if I want to select your name, and then skip a few and then select up, you hold Control, your name, copy, leave them three out. That's the side, so all these, what's that one? Don't need that one. There you go. Now what I want to do again is duplicate, right click, group from layers, group 2, back to that, shift down to there, control, control, select all them again and merge them. See how I did the group again? Just so when I merge all them layers, I've still got that in a group unmerged if I need to edit anything. Now what I'm going to do with this is make it a little bit bigger, put it behind, and literally just make it opaque. Just for some background, really. You can make it even bigger if we want. I think that looks pretty good. Now I want to do something for the background, the actual background. As it's just bland at the moment, isn't it? So what we want to do is we can either do it with circles or rectangles or whatever shape you want to use. You can put a gradient on it. Gradients do look good, maybe not like that, but gradient tool's strange. Like, it depends on how long you make your line. If you make a really short line, you're going to get a really sharp sort of gradient. But if we just do this, change the color dark. I just got that menu up by clicking up here. Then change this to dark as well. And if you start from this very end and drag it all the way up to there, you're going to get a really smooth gradient. But without the gradient, I don't want to use that anyway, so we'll leave that. What I want to do is what I suggest you do as well. I'm going to get your pen tool. Just click one. If you click and drag, you start making a curve. Pen tool on Photoshop can be a bit annoying. The best way to get smooth curves is to click somewhere along this line, or even somewhere out of the way of the line, you know what I mean? But what I want to do is click up like that, so you get a nice curve along, and then straight off, and then click all the way around, so that's half the screen selected. I'm going to right click, fill path, colour, and then click that, make it a little tiny bit brighter. Okay. Delete path. Now we have this in the background. You could even put this at both sides, but I think it looks cleaner on one side. And obviously with your socials and stuff, the way I'd add them, I'd sort of add them over here, or maybe even like the summer 2020, but just down here. So what you do with that is click here, get your Twitter name, make it a little bit bigger. At Twitter tag, I'll just do it like that for now. Make it white. See how that at's, you can sort of edit a font somehow because the at's dropping below the T and I don't like that, so I'd make the at a lot smaller. And then could I bring it up? No. Oh. Well, anyway, Twitter tag. To be fair, if it's a Twitter tag, you don't need an at anyway. You just put a Twitter logo before. I'll show you where I get all my icons from for free. Yeah, I'll do that in a second. Yeah, so we've got a Twitter tag here. You just want to drag it across. Just click text again and see what. That's 901. So to keep things all together, you want to make this one 901 as well. You can just type it 9.01. Yeah. Move that across to there, and you can even copy your rectangles wherever they are. It's them ones, isn't it? Yeah. So you can even shift copy them, alt drag them across. Oops. Shift copy them. Control J, Control T. Sometimes it doesn't let you alt drag because if there's a layer on top of it, it'll want to drag that one first. So what you do then is you Control J to duplicate it, and then Control T, and it'll select just that for you. We're going to put this alongside that. Okay. Twitter tag. Put it sort of maybe inside a little bit. Inside the things that someone's like, yeah. Twitter tag. Go to text and literally Twitter tag. I'd do the tag in yellow. Twitter tag. Now, for that, now I'm going to show you where I get my logos from. I'm not sponsored by the website, I'm just showing you. It's called icons8.com. These are completely free to download. This is what I use myself. You just search Twitter and you get all these sort of icons. They're not limited to this because you can edit them in Photoshop. So I just prefer the actual bird, either that one or the smaller one. We go for the bigger one. You just press download. You can choose what size you want as you go 100, download, and then it's down there. Now I'm going to go to my downloads real quick on my other monitor. Just drag it from the file you found into Photoshop. There we go. Obviously you can't really see it right now because it's black, but we'll get to that in a minute. So you want to drag it to where you want it, nice and small, a little bit bigger. Then if you watch the pink lines, the pink line comes up in the middle, that means it's in the middle of the text. Then I've got a pink line at the top. If I drag it down a little bit or up a little bit, I get a pink line at the bottom. To be honest, it doesn't really matter too much with this because it's going to end up a little bit blurry in that anyway. So we're going to go to blending options again, color overlay, yellow, the actual yellow, just color drop the actual yellow, and there you go. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. There you go. You got a nice looking Twitter header. There's a lot more stuff you can do with it. This is just a simplistic one. How long is that taking me? Half an hour? Half an hour tutorial? Half an hour making the banner. It's not a big project. It's not a big banner, and it looks smart to have on your Twitter. Bearing in mind, with this PSD that you can download in the description, to change the colours. Now, a lot of it is text colour, but if I just do this, if I do create new fill or adjustment layer, hue and saturation, colorize, the white won't change, but the colours will. It's a shame it changes the background, but the colours of everything actually change. And if I go back to yellow, it looks fairly similar apart from the background. But if I get rid of colorize, no. Oh wait, yeah, just don't click colorize. Just click the color look, and you can change it to whatever color you want. I'll leave that layer right there. I'll call it color change layer. Now this PSD won't look as messy as it does now because I'm going to neaten it up before I put it in the description because you're not going to be able to understand this. But yeah, color change layer, change it to whatever color you want. You could have like a light blue, that looks nice. Have an orangey color, That looks nice as well. The yellow looks good. Oh, yeah, green. Any colour you want. But like I said, I want you to play around with it. I don't want you to just download it to use it. I want you to play around with it and sort of learn things yourself. You can even edit this, add whatever you want to it. You can duplicate this side and put it on the other side. You can add more text. Just try to keep it all within the smaller sort of and the same fonts, same. Everything needs to look the same for it to be sort of good in a graphic design perspective. Good fonts, same fonts, good sizes, good gaps between, even gaps between like texts and layers and stuff. The gaps have to be bang on for it to look okay. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there. It's a simplistic banner. Yep, don't get me wrong, it's simple, but it looks good. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's my first tutorial. Let me know what I've been doing wrong, or if you've not been able to follow on with anything, I'll happily help in the description. It's like I say, I haven't done a tutorial in years, so I don't know how good it was, or if I were talking too fast, or if I've not gone into anything in detail or missed anything out. Let me know and I can pick it up in the next tutorial and make it 10 times better for you. Peace.